Problem was when I looked further up at the scoreboard. Did anybody tell Mark that amid his individual celebrations, his team was losing and plunging into last place? It is tempting to take off on Gastineau's selfish act as a symbol of the Jets' futility this year. But it happens that last week's games held a more positive lesson. While Gastineau was leaping, the best defensive end in the NFL was playing much closer to the ground. In fact, Doug Betters of Miami twice scrambled across the San Francisco turf to recover fumbles that stopped 49er drives. Of course, Betters didn't dance. He would have been quick to emphasize the teammates who had caused the fumbles.
Man, I love the old Dolphins. You got that right. Good job, Doug Betters. A look at Tua arriving on a rainy day in Miami Gardens. He will not have Tyreek today. It was announced about a half hour ago. Tyreek was apparently looking good in warm-ups, but just didn't feel it. B-Chubb's going to have to work hard today. Got to put pressure on Zach Wilson. Xavier is also in.
Well, it's a windy, wet day in South Florida as the Jets return to Hard Rock Stadium to face Mike McDaniel's team. Zach Wilson off the best game of his career, but can Robert Saleh's defense slow down this speedy Dolphins offense? Tyreek Hill, a game-time decision as Miami looks bounce back.
Let's bring it to these boys from the bird mountains.
Miami has to be thinking, what in the world has happened?
Tough loss tonight. It's going to linger like this if we don't do anything about that.
That's a Jet touchdown!
And when good things happen, then it snowballs in the right direction.
We're going to be working out Tyreek Hill this morning. We'll have the latest updates for you, seeing whether or not he can play with the ankle injury that he sustained Monday night. They're giving him the option to tell them how he feels in pregame warm-ups and whether he will play. Obviously, chasing the NFL's MVP, a 2,000-yard receiving season for a wide receiver, a lot on the line. We'll see if Hill can go. Also, lots of other wide receivers.
All right, fellas, I'm going to go Jets-Dolphins because Dolphins were in December football, and it's not about being fast. It's can you block them? And we're going to see if they can block them today. Tua got sacked. Starting to get sacked more often than not. The Jets' defense is coming. They are going to have to block that front because Zach Wilson on the other side had a great game last week. Jets fans are wondering the same thing that I'm wondering. Can he do it again? Can't wait to see if he can today. But what I'm looking forward to are the
Sunday NFL Countdown is presented by Snickers. Maybe you just need a Snickers.
Well, it's an interesting time of year when 30 teams still are alive for the playoffs. In mid-December, thank you, Randy. Panthers and Patriots, the only teams that have already turned around. We've seen over these last 2 years. Good on ya. And it's been an impressive year for the Dolphins, but last week coming off of a loss.
Another coffee guy. You know what that does?
Who doesn't drink coffee anymore?
We all know what that does.
It is too early to be talking about that.
He's got a game plan, too.
My goodness.
That's the game plan.
That's the script.
Laminated.
Just a little early script to remind them what's going on against the Jets today. That Jets defense looked pretty good last week. Adam Schefter was coming up.
Moments ago, walking into the stadium, walking without a limp. That's encouraging. The question will be whether he can make cuts during pregame warm-ups and whether he feels comfortable to go out there and play against the Jets on a wet day in Miami. So we'll have that decision for you here shortly. Meanwhile, the Chargers made a decision.
Man, when I'm looking at this play, Miami Dolphins, big fella, Robert Hunt catches the screen. Was the screen meant for him? Man, Hunt, I don't know, but man, we got to give you a love. Look how this man is. Look how he is in there. Man, touchdown, big fellas. That play didn't count, though.
The betting this year. And what a story in Miami today as the Dolphins try to get back on track against the Jets coming to town. All the fans getting ready to see Jalen Ramsey out there today. He's actually a fan of one of our own.
Legendary. Y'all thought I was going to forget to talk about the game-winning pick to seal the game up? One on top. Randy Moss, that got to be on You Got Moss.
You got Moss.
I watched that. Everybody else watching on here. You Got Moss.
Are you ready?
I mean, we couldn't have got a better promo for the segment if we tried. There he is, right there. Ramsey, thanks for stopping by. I've been hearing some talk this morning, Jalen, about what you said you wanted to do against Randy Moss. Randy, take it away.
Hey, well, hey, man, hey, if Coach McDaniels give me the invite, what's up, young buck? Appreciate you coming on. But, hey, real quick, if Coach McDaniels gives me the invite, can I come down Wednesday and Thursday? We can settle this debate one-on-one. You down with that or not?
100%. I don't dodge no wreck, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hey, but real quick, man, thanks for coming on the show. Real quick question to you. Last couple of weeks ago against the Raiders, you came up with the game-winning interception, going up and getting this ball at its highest point. Can you talk about when seeing the ball? Because we seen T. Higgins go up yesterday at his highest point, but as a defender, you go up and get the ball at his highest point. Can you talk to us about what you see and why you want to go up there and get that ball before we do?
Man, it's the same mentality for me, honestly. You know, some guys can go for the PBU, and sometimes that's the best bet. But in certain situations where I feel like I might be able to make a play on the ball and actually catch it, I go up at its highest point or dive and get it. However I got to make the interception happen, I just go get it. That's all I'm thinking at that time is, let me make this play for this team.
Jalen, what's up, man? Listen, we've all had a bunch of head coaches. We even got a former one right here next to me. You've had several, but I'm fascinated about your current head coach, Mike McDaniel. Man, he is so different. He's so refreshing. Can you just tell, what's it like playing for him?
It is completely different. I've had 4 head coaches now. He's definitely different from each of the other 3 that I've had. I love Coach McVay out in California. He was super chill, super relaxed, but on that field, he was like an alpha. And then Coach here, he's kind of the same. Mike's kind of the same. Mike is super process-driven, though, not really result-driven. He just knows that we do the right things during the week, and our process, then the result is going to handle itself. So I like that about him probably the most. And then, he got his own little unique little swag, I guess you would call it. Man, honestly, I usually don't eat before games. No matter what, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I guess I'm too hyped up or something. I just go in my locker room, get my stuff on real quick and just chill. I try to just chill and calm my nerves and relax a little bit before I go out on the field and let loose. But yeah, sometimes I eat a little fruit, some pineapples, watermelon, grapes, and whatever they got in there. And then, I'll just start eating some candy and get ready for the game.
I was going to say, I was thinking you were doing the healthier option, but everybody else says they have candy. I guess you're like them in that vein too. Jalen, you seem so relaxed and so happy down in Miami. And we heard Tua talking about that too, how Mike McDaniel just kind of sets this tone for the team, for everyone to be themselves. Even coming off a week when you lost the game and you need a bounce-back win today, how would you describe the vibe in the locker room in Miami right now?
It's the same. A little bit more urgency. I feel like it's always urgent. I feel like, when we around the facility, when we just hanging and kicking with each other in meeting rooms and all that, it's relaxed, When we get on that field, when it's time to lock in, it's intense. So maybe we, ratcheted it up a little bit more. Maybe it wasn't as relaxed this week, but really it was the same, honestly. And yeah, he definitely, he lets us all be ourselves. He welcomes, helping each other and getting close to each other and, just building that team bonding and all of that. So, yeah, it's a real good environment, honestly, and I am happy here, yeah.
And real quick, Jalen, it's supposed to be a little wet out there maybe. What kind of footwear are you thinking about today?
Yeah.
Senior cleats.
Yeah, I might have to throw on those 7 studs today, but I'm going to go out there shortly and feel how that grass feels. And if not, I appreciate it. I got to, like Deion said, if you look good, you feel good, you play good, and y'all know the rest. So I like to look good out there on that field,
Teddy wouldn't know about that.
No, stop it.
That would have
Stop it. Stop it. Jalen, we really appreciate your time. I know everybody's anxious to see if Tyreek Hill's going to be out there. We saw him walking in. He looked fine, had that same Tyreek swag about him. You think he's good to go?
I hope so, shit. I hope so.
We hope so too, shit. We hope so too.
The man is relaxed. He is himself, and he is the best. Jalen Ramsey, thank you very much.
Jalen Ramsey got to have a day.
Much love, y'all.
Good luck out there today against the Jets. Oh, man.
Hopefully lots of urgency.
We have some breaking news this morning, and for that, Randy's got a brand new Week 15 edition of You Got Moxed. Jalen Ramsey, he was just talking to us about Tyreek Hill. I don't think I can quote him verbatim what he said about Tyreek, but we can see him right now. Okay, I mean, if that guy's not playing, I am confused. Our Jeff Darlington is there doing the investigative reporting on Tyreek's status. Jeff, what do you have for us?
I am on Tyreek Hill watch right now. I can tell you that he came out to the field about 18 minutes ago. He ran about 6 or 7 routes, and honestly, he looked pretty good. I'm just going by my eye test here. We'll let you take a look at him here. I mean, right now he's just throwing passes, but when he was running his routes, it didn't look like he had any issue running in straight lines. After every route that he ran, he definitely checked out his ankle, sort of stretched it out. I'm told that this is a true game-time decision. It will all be based on how he feels coming out of this workout right now. Again, though, I want to emphasize, it's about how much he can cut on the ankle. The straight line speed is not necessarily an issue, so we'll keep an eye, Sam, on everything that Tyreek Hill is doing right now. But you see him out here, he looks pretty good, the ankle isn't taped. I'd be surprised at this point if he does not try to play.
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, it looks pretty good, but Randy, I'll say you're the expert at what he's doing right now. You think this guy's playing?
I think he's playing, Sam, but one thing that I will pay attention to what Darlington said is the outside breaking routes off of that ankle. It's easy for a wide receiver, to just run straight the deep ball, but him cutting, one of the things he does best. I will be paying attention to that today.
And all I got to say is 2,000 yards.
He's getting there.
2,000 yards. It's what he wants.
Yep.
You know, you gotta put up the numbers if you want to get there. You know that's his goal. It'd be historic. This kid is tough. He's going to get out there and try to get that yards to get that mark. We're coming to the end of the year where wins matter, but certain marks matter for certain people too. Setting records. This is what this guy.
Go get it, Tyreek. Go get it.
This guy's a competitor. Like I played with him. Like I don't care if we're playing darts or whatever. Like this guy wants to compete. It's nonstop. He's like a kid in that kind of mindset. Like he loves it, and if it's at all close, he's playing. Like he's just built that way. He's wired that way.
Yeah, Robert Shaw and his staff have probably gone over to him and said, son, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't play it. If that's
Don't risk it.
I wouldn't.
From being a fun story to being for real, and that's what Tommy DeVito has a chance to do today in New Orleans. But here's some real news breaking out of Miami right now. Tyreek Hill is inactive today again. He fooled us all. He looked so good out there running around. But Jeff Darlington is there seeing it up close and personal. Jeff, what are you hearing? The reason for this?
Sam, I think this is quite the scene actually out here at Hard Rock Stadium. As the inactives come out, Tyreek Hill is running the fastest routes, most explosive routes that I've seen from him all morning. Now, what I will tell you is that after he ran those 6 routes that I mentioned earlier, he met with General Manager Chris Greer, wide receivers coach Wes Welker at midfield. They had a discussion. They were talking plenty about the ankle, and ultimately you saw it. The Dolphins went in and submitted that he is inactive as he continues to warm up for this game. Now, I can tell you that the team is prepared and was prepared if he decided that he didn't want to play for Jalen Waddle to be the #1 wide receiver.
Jalen got a ball today.
They'll have to move forward without Tyreek Hill, and Hill, in his pursuit of 2,000 yards, will have to wait another week, Sam.
Devon's in.
Jeff, Rex, if you're Robert Saleh right now, what are you thinking?
Thank you, God. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking.
It definitely changes that defensive game plan, I'm sure. Teddy, are you surprised by this?
I am, but let's understand something here. Whatever he does in warm-ups and how quickly Darlington may think he looks, he's probably even faster on the field during the game.
Yeah, that's
right?
scary.
I mean, even more explosive. I mean, if it's a smart decision to protect the player, I totally agree. But let's just understand how explosive this young man is. And he can do and show a lot of things out there. And I know some Dolphin fans are probably seeing this. What? I just saw him cut. And he was running fast. He runs even faster. Okay, and he's even more explosive. So that right there is probably just the precautionary tale of having him down the road.
The conditions.
HN is officially active. DJ Moore also
Good.
officially
Got him.
active. Chris Olave.
Need you, Devon. Cold one here in Millbank, but it's been a great December as far as weather.
The last time the Dolphins and Jets faced off, there was a 90-yard interception return. Found out why that cost the TV company some straight cash, homie.
And I never expected that the Black Friday game with the 98-yard touchdown, which we thought was almost impossible, would be the one that would hit.
Impactful divisional game in some windy weather down south today. Jets off a big win over the Texans. Dolphins off a loss to the Titans, but no Tyreek Hill for Tua Tagovailoa today. He is inactive. If you remember, the Miami team that beat the Jets on Black Friday, the Jets attempted a Hail Mary at the end of the first half. Dolphins safety Javon Holland intercepted the pass and returned it 99 yards for the pick six. Our Jeff Darlington tells us it wasn't just the Dolphins who cashed in on the big play.
The first time in NFL history that a game is played on Black Friday.
On the sidelines, the energy was abnormally intense. Like, you could feel the momentum.
So now the Jets will get one snap from midfield, and I would assume try and heave it as far as he can.
As soon as I seen the ball in the air the way it was, and I looked to my left and right, everybody boxing out, I was like, oh yeah, I need it.
And it is picked off. Oh, this is going to get interesting.
I saw Javon come up with it, saw him start running towards us. I'm like, okay, we could kind of make something happen out of this.
He might run this guy to the right hand side. Touchdown! He takes it all back when it played.
Dolphins safety Javon Holland's 99-yard pick six didn't merely stun a national audience. It also stunned a group of contestants who capitalized on a contest with a television company out of Irvine, California.
The original focus of the contest was around Black Friday and Week 12. We thought, it's kind of unlikely there's going to be a 98-yard touchdown. So it was really just myself, Andy Thompson, sitting around the room just thinking about what we could do for each of these weeks, coming up with different things and tying it into those games.
While the company holds the contest all season, rewarding contestants if one of their unlikely scenarios occurs, they went big in Week 12, but only in the case of a 98-plus yard touchdown.
Black Friday is huge for us, so we thought, how do we make this big? So then we come up with the idea, let's give away $1 million worth of 98-inch TVs if there's a 98-yard plus touchdown.
Before Week 1 even started, one Jets fan in South Florida decided to throw his hat into a raffle that had a gigantic prize.
Got an email from TCL. So I saw it and it was really intriguing, $1 million TV prize contest, so it seemed like a lot of people were going to win, so I entered.
The Jets will try to reach the end zone and just throw it up.
I was with my family in Palm Springs for Thanksgiving, and then I saw the Hail Mary and then the interception, and I was kind of like, ooh.
It's a jump ball all the way down at the goal line, and that's intercepted for Miami.
And I'm like, this is going to be a really long interception return. And then it clicked in that, I don't know where he caught it, but this could be a 98-yard or longer touchdown.
Into the end zone for a Dolphin touchdown to end the first half.
I was back and forth with Tom Heffen, and I was like, did this just happen? We were messaging back and forward. There was so much excitement going on. It was fantastic.
3 days later, I got notification that play unlocked the prize and I was a big winner. And I said, oh my goodness, something great finally happened out of being a Jets fan.
84 TVs we gave away.
On the way, all for doing my thing on the field. Shout out to TCL for sending me this 98-inch massive TV. I'm glad a lot of happy fans were able to get TVs because of that play. So it's dope to see that it wasn't just helping us win the game, but it was also helping a lot of people on Black Friday shopping win some TVs.
My message for Javon Holland is you have a new best friend. I really appreciate your interception and what the joy it's going to bring me for the next 15, 20 years. But I do hope the Jets demolish you on Sunday.
That's a true man right there. When I was watching sports growing up, it was like, if they score this many points or whatever, you get a free taco or you get a free burger, not a free TV. That's amazing. Randy's still waiting for his. Our Jeff Darlington is down in Miami. He's been on Tyreek Hill watch all morning.
Well, Sam, a fascinating decision by the Dolphins to make Tyreek Hill inactive. Now, I know we saw him on the field. He looked pretty explosive in his routes. You guys were talking about this after our last live shot here about the fact that straight line speed and making those cuts isn't everything. It's about what he can do in the game. Now, I am told from my sources that is what played into this factor. It's not merely about his explosiveness, but it's about whether he would potentially re-injure it if he were to take the wrong type of hit by the way, the type of hit that led to the injury in the first place. So the team will go forward with Jalen Waddle as their #1 wide receiver. One added note here. I was talking to somebody about how much the game plan changes. That person told me that Mike McDaniel actually faced a bigger challenge dealing with the game plan of losing 3 starters on the offensive line than actually losing Tyreek Hill. A real problem along the offensive line, something we should closely watch in this game. Obviously, not to dismiss the magnitude of Tyreek Hill being inactive for this game, Sam.
Yeah, Jeff, you can have multiple problems at once, and that's what the Dolphins have today. Rex, this is a tough task for Tua Tagovailoa. We've seen him step up to the challenge in the past, but what do you need to see differently out of Tua today?
Oh, it's going to be so tough. And I'm going to tell you, because this defense is, a problem for everybody. I don't care if you are healthy or whatever. This defense is amazing for the Jets. And the biggest concern I have, especially with Tyreek not being in there, Tua is as good as it gets when he gets rid of the ball at 2.5 seconds. In other words, throwing the ball on rhythm. And I have a tape that shows him hold the ball a little bit. He becomes very average as far as extending plays. Now, it's not in rhythm. It's not a rhythm throw. He's got guys open, yet watch what happens. Boom, he breaks the pocket. He's still looking, still got guys open. Can't find him. All right? This is a problem with Quentin Williams up front.
I think this is going to be a dogfight. Quentin Williams, man, last week he put on a show, and again, you're telling me all week he's known he's got a backup center that he's going to go against.
He was throwing it.
Man.
Well, what I'm anxious to see, you talking about with the middle interior of their offensive line being injured, being able to make this big man run side to side is what I'm anxious to see what Mike McDaniel's be able to do with this defense. But I said earlier about Tyreek's ankle, and Sam, you asked a question about stepping up, and I said Achane and Mostert. And the reason why I said the running backs, because we've seen the Miami Dolphins with all this movement, and they're snapping the ball, and guys are just firing off the ball. That's in the passing game. One thing about what I've seen in their running game, man, sometimes you just step back and just hand the running back the ball. I'm giving Mostert some praise because why? He's leading the National Football League in rushing touchdowns. But he's second in the National Football League in rushing behind Christian McCaffrey. So last week, Monday Night Football, with everything that was happening in the second half, late in the fourth quarter, I wanted to know where was their 4 minute of offense at? When you have this man high in the rushing title as Mostert, man, give them some carries to take some pressure off your defense. So I'm just anxious with Tyreek Hill out. Everything that Mostert's doing, can he have a big day and run the ball and get Vic Williams sideline to sideline?
Yeah, and they've still got speed. They've still got a lot of speed. But I said it earlier in the show, it's not about speed. It's can you block them? And they've got this backup center in Liam Eichenberg. He's nursing a calf.
Yep.
So can they even get the running game going? That's the thing. Because if you watch that tape, too, with
28 minutes to kick. Alex has 23-16 Dolphins. And Waddle having a big day. Gal, I hope you're right, Alex. I had 34-13 with Tyreek. I'm going to back that down to 33-13 without Tyreek. Backup players, like you said, Alex, they got to step up. Here I go. Time to get ready.
Most of the story of the year for the Jets has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And as we just pointed out, 2 weeks in an NFL is an eternity. And he was the AFC Player of the Week last week. I didn't feel like they got a lot of pushback from the Houston Texans last week because of all the injuries that they had. So he finally found a way to put points on the board.
Yeah.
So I want to see him come out and play a consistent, clean game. No bad throws, no bad decisions, and certainly no interceptions.
Right, it'll be tough for this Miami Dolphins offense to do what they do best. You know, you don't have Tyreek Hill. You do have Jalen Waddle. He's going to step up. They are the best in-cut route running team. So I expect them to have some double moves based off of those routes because you have a very opportunistic secondary with the Jets that can jump those in-cutting routes. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a little cat and mouse with Sauce Gardner in that defense.
It will be, and I'll tell you right now, but Tua's got to be careful because Sauce Gardner right now, this defense, they are hot. They've had 31 straight games without allowing 300 yards passing. And, you know, 7 games, they've been very average. Remember a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago, they played this Miami team. Remember that return at the end of the first half?
Yep.
Kind of a debacle we had here in the Jets Stadium.
Right.
So I'll tell you what, this is a divisional game. This is going to be a hard-fought game. You watch.
It's going to be interesting. I would say this to the New York Jets and Zach Wilson.
Going to be
If you
interesting.
play the way you did last year, especially last week, and especially in the second half,
he will have success. I mean, listen, I'm glad I didn't grow up here if this Italian food is so good. But I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys over the Buffalo Bills today.
I'm going to take the Chicago Bears over Cleveland.
For those of you getting the 4 o'clock game today, folks, we will be right back with more after a quick timeout. I'm going to hang out with Nate for a little while. And for the rest of you, kickoff is just a few moments away.
And we will get you out to your game next.
Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
The NFL on CBS coming to you from Miami, where the Dolphins today will host the New York Jets. These teams collide for the second time in 3 weeks, with the Dolphins winning up New York way 34-13 on Black Friday. And they're the latest playoff picture in the AFC, with Miami trying to stay on the heels of the Ravens and try to get another step closer to winning the division, while the Jets have very faint hopes. Still in the hunt technically at 5-8 on the season. Bring it up live to the booth. Hello, friends. Jim Nance with Tony Romo and Tracy Wolfson. They're still around here, aghast at what happened on Monday night with the 2-touchdown lead against the Titans. 3 minutes to go. A meltdown, in their own words, a complete meltdown. How will they respond to that today?
Well, the championship teams, which I think Miami has visions of that, will come back strong today. I do believe it's going to be a tall task, though, as we'll talk about in a second. But I do think that can kind of make that, like, adversity brings opportunity. And I think that they are taking that approach. So I expect them to come out on all cylinders.
Speaking of adversity, my partner's under the weather today. We worked him out down.
Be out here today. He did not practice all week, but they did leave the door open for him to be able to play. He gave it a go in pregame warm-ups. He was running, he was cutting, but ultimately I was told that neither him nor the team felt like he was strong enough to play.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and the SiriusXM app.
Quiet your mind, reduce your stress, and rest easy with channels designed to help you.
As we're about to get started, the Dolphins hosting the Jets, and it's next on CBS.
We'll start on offense, and the Jets have deferred to the second half.
This can be an interesting one today, Jimmy. All of a sudden, the Jets defense, 5th in the league, giving up under 300 yards a game, playing really well. And going into this game, with the amount of backups, as banged up as the Dolphins are, they think they've got a really good chance to shut down this offense of the Dolphins.
Yes. All day long on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and the SiriusXM app.
I agree.